Hey, what's going on guys, TurtyWurty here, and welcome back to another Minecraft modding tutorial for version 1.15. In this tutorial we are going to be going over enchantments, as they are super simple and it allows you to do quite a lot of things with enchantments. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? So the first thing we're going to want to do is go ahead and create a new class in our init package, and we're going to call this Enchantment init, and this will be where we go ahead and register all of our enchants. We don't want the constructor, I don't know why it generates that, but instead we want the deferred registry, so a public static final deferred registry, a deferred register, isn't it? And that takes in the enchantments. And we can just call this Enchantments is equal to a new deferred register. Forge registries dot enchantments, and the mod ID is obviously our mod ID, so tutorial mod dot mod ID, and just import enchantment deferred register, forge registries, and tutorial mod. And then we can go ahead and create the registry object, so a public static final registry object of enchantment, and I'm just going to call this what should we call it? Up step is what I'm going to call it. So I'm going to be doing an enchantment for boots, but obviously it's pretty much the same for, well, anything you want to apply it for. And that's going to be enchantments.register, and we are registering up step. And then the supplier is going to be a new up step enchantment, just like that. And so this is going to take in a few things. So first it's going to take in the rarity of the enchantment. This is basically fishing rarity. Also it is how rare it is in structures. It is how rare it is from actually enchanting. I'm going to set it to just rare, but make sure it is enchantment.rarity, not just rarity, because that's for item rarity. And then it is the type, I believe. So actually, before we do that, let's actually create this class, and that will help us understand what we're putting into here. So I'm going to create a new package, and I'm going to call this .enchantments, not enchantments D, just enchantments. Oh no, there we go. And that is where, I don't know why it's checking so many preconditions, but that is where we can go ahead and create this class. We can't initialize a new enchantment, sadly, as that class is actually abstract, so you have to go ahead and extend it. So as you can see, we create a new class. We can call this up step enchantment. Go away, go away, go away, thank you. This is going to extend enchantment. Get rid of this constructor because that is wrong, and add the constructor, and make the constructor public, otherwise obviously you won't be able to use it, because that's just common Java sense. Everyone should know that. Okay, so it is the rarity, the enchantment type, and an equipment slot type array. So after that we can do enchantment type, dot, and as you can see there is all these different ones. Now if yours doesn't suit one of these, you need to go ahead and create one. So what you can do for this is do enchantment type dot create, and then it's the name. So for example, let's say I wanted to put it on a carrot. Okay, and then it takes a predicate, which as you should know would just be item and then dash arrow. We could do item dot equals items dot carrot, and basically that is our predicate if we wanted it for a carrot. But we don't want to go ahead and create one. We want to use an existing one, which is the boots. So boots isn't one. Oh, it's armor feet. I don't know why they name it so weird. And then it's a new equipment slot array. So how do you equipment slots type array? Is that right? I think that's right. Let's see. Yes, that's right. And then this is the different equipment slot types. So it would be equipment slot type dot feet would be the one we want. Let's just format that and it will move it all down to how we like it. And that is it for this init class, but obviously this isn't going to work. This won't be an enchantment, it won't be registered. So we need to make sure we are registering it. So if we just go into our main class and we go before everything, well no, we want it before items, but everything else can be registered before that. So we can do enchantment init dot enchantments dot register mod event bus, just like that. And that is it actually for our main class, and we can close this now as well. So there are loads of methods in here which you can go ahead and override. The one that I'm going to be showing you is get max level, and this just tells it what the max level is. So I'm going to return 5. I want to be my max. Actually no, I won't. I want a max level of 1 and a min level of 1. We don't want to allow it to go any higher for this because it's going to be the same enchantment for me, no matter what it would be. I'm going to not allow it on books, so I'm going to return false. So you can't have it on a. Actually, we do want it on a book because that's how we're going to get it. That's how we'll obtain it. It's just a lot easier. If it's a damage enchantment, you can override obviously a damage method. There's loads of methods here you can override on user hurt, on entity damaged, but we don't want any of these at all, in fact. But I am going to override can apply together so that I can show you this. So I'm going to return enchant is instance, no, what can we do, dot equals enchantments dot, and then we can choose an enchantment that we don't want it to go with. So I don't want it to go with Depth Strider. Okay, if it is equal to that, we return false, and else we return true, just like that. And that just saves us doing a whole if statement there. So now we have done that. Obviously our enchantment isn't going to do anything. This is currently, it's an enchantment, but it's useless. It literally will not do anything. So we need to go ahead and make it do something, and in fact we can do that in our enchantment class, can't we? So what we can do in here is we can go ahead and create an inner class, and we can make this private. Can we make it private? Yes. No. Let's make it public. Yeah, let's make it public. Static. And we're going to call this player update. No, we'll call it up step. What can we call it? Up step equipped is what we could call it. If I could spell, that is. It would be great if I could spell, of course. Oh, class. I'm stupid. Oh my lord. Okay, there we go. And we can create this, we can make this an event bus. So at mod.event bus subscriber mod ID is equal to tutorial mod .mod ID, and obviously we can do bus is equal to bus.forge. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be hooking onto the player tick event, so we can do something every tick in the player. So in here, obviously we first want at subscribe event for our method. Oh my lord. Subscribe. Subscribe. You should also subscribe, you know, that's a great thing to do. And this method is public static void, and we can call this do stuff, just like that. Okay, import subscribe event, and this can take in, for me it will take in a player tick event. Now obviously depending on your enchantment, what you apply it to, whatever, this event may be different. It completely depends. I can't do all the possible things that you could do, because that would just be impossible. There's way too many. So I am just going to show this one, but knowing that you will probably need an event, you should be able to figure that out yourself anyways. I have an events tutorial if you get stuck on that, so you can go ahead and look on how to make an event. But obviously you don't need an event for some enchantments, because you can have calc damage by creature, and that calculates additional damage that will be dealt with that. You got calc modifier damage, and there's another one as well. There's on entity damaged, so when they're damaged and it has the enchantment, and on the user hurt. So there are those methods if you need those, but I don't need any of those. I need a player tick event so that I can check if the player is ticking, which obviously they would be, but yeah. So in here what we can do is do something like, well, first I'm just going to get the world. So world in is equal to event dot, we don't have a world. Do we now have a world? Nope. Okay. Event.player.world. Okay, and we can also make a player. So player entity player in is equal to event.player. Do we not have any player? Get player? Nope. Okay. So event.player then. I suppose it makes sense to do the world after the player, because then we can just use the player variable to get the world. There we go. And then we can do something like world in dot set block state. This is all I'm going to do. Set block state to player in dot position dot down, so it's the block below, and the state I'm just going to do blocks dot barrier dot get default state, and what that will basically do is just set the block state below the player to be the barrier. So whenever they jump up, it will be a barrier below them. Obviously you can go ahead and implement when they crouch, it then destroys that and puts another block below. In fact, that should be pretty easy to do. I will see if I can just do it real quick. So is shift key down, then we can do if world, do something like if world in dot get block state, because we want to check that it's a barrier first, of course, at player in dot position dot down dot get block is equal to blocks dot barrier. If it is, then we could do world, what could we do? We could do something like world in dot set block state, player in dot get position. I am just making this up totally on the spot, so this might not work. It normally takes me a few tests to get stuff like this to work, so no, we want to set it to air, don't we? And then we can set the block below that block to a barrier. So world in dot set block state to player in dot get position dot down state blocks dot barrier dot get default state. That might not work, but basically what I'm doing is if they're shifting, it will get the block state below, and if it's a barrier below, then it will set that to air, and it will set the block down to a barrier. I think it might not work. It could be completely wrong. It's just mock-up code, but yeah. Actually, what we probably want to do is put this in the else, don't we? Because we don't want that to happen otherwise. So else we do that. It's pretty simple. Shift key down actually might not be the best way to do this, though. I think there is is crouching. Yeah, there you go. We should use is crouching, because otherwise it will do it if we're shifting in a menu or something, and obviously we don't want that. Yeah, I think that should work. So I suppose let's go ahead and test it. Is there anything I have missed? I don't think so. So let's go ahead and run the game, and I will see you guys there. Okay, so guys, I am now in the game, searching Upstep. Right here brings us our Upstep enchantment, and it's also in the combat tab right here. As you can see, it doesn't have the proper name, which is something I forgot. I knew I forgot something. So if we just go into the lang, we can go ahead and fix this real quick. So I'm going to go down to the bottom, and I'm going to do, what's it called, enchantment.tutorial mod, enchantment.tutorial mod .upstep, and we can just call this Upstep. And then obviously just pressing F3 and T will go ahead and reload, and we should see that it fixes itself. It's taken a long time to load, actually. Come on, and yeah, there it is. That actually looks really weird. I suppose we should probably make it Upstep 1. Does any... oh no, actually. Huh. It just looks a bit weird, doesn't it? Oh well. As you can see, I do have my potions in here as well. But where are they? There they are. It's nice. But yeah, obviously if we go ahead and get some boots, so combat, diamond boots. You can do it on any boots, of course. In fact, we can go ahead and do it on our boots, can't we? Do we have our boots? Yes, we do. There they are. And then we do anvil, which is there. We can obviously also use the /enchant command. That would work as well. But we put those on our boots. Put our boots on. And oh, it's setting the blocks below us. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that wasn't. We didn't actually check that the blocks below us are whether it's grass or not. If we just hold a barrier, we should be able to see where we're going. But if I press shift, okay, that didn't work. I think it's because we're doing it every tick. So, but if we hold shift, is that setting it to the? No? Okay. I don't know. Obviously that's just a logic error of mine. As I said, that was just like a mock-up thing. Well, obviously we can go up. I can go in survival and it should work as well. So you just go up. As you can see, it's working. Obviously we can't go down because I didn't make that work apparently. But you know, we're going about, we're vibing. And when we want to jump down, we can obviously just take our boots off, jump in the water, or not, because our boots are actually in our... Oh, we didn't check if they're in the slot. We do need to check that they are in the boots slot. Otherwise it's just going to happen whenever it's in our inventory. So we would actually have to throw it out, and then we could jump. Yeah, I mean, that's a slight issue, isn't it? Because I'm not even wearing the boots, and it's setting the blocks below us. But obviously, you can fix that. As I said, that's just a logic error, right there. Easy fixes, easy fixes. Oh my lord! Oh wow! Look at that. It even does it in spectator mode. Yeah, obviously that is things that you can go ahead and fix. Also, making sure it doesn't do it to bedrock as well is a nice option. And to fluids and all that. But obviously you can fix that yourself. That's not something that I was aiming for entirely. So yeah, if you guys did enjoy this tutorial, please do be sure to smash your face into that like button and subscribe. If you really enjoyed, please do be sure to share it. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.